I'll be real with you. I was sitting on the toilet earlier thinking maybe I should just cancel this week altogether. Because the truth is, I've been heavy lately. Not just with life, but even with this podcast. And for a moment, I wondered if I even had it in me to record. But instead of skipping it, I wanted to put where I'm at and how I'm feeling on full blast for the world to hear if you choose to listen. Because this podcast isn't about pretending healing is always pretty or polished, because it's not. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it knocks you sideways, and that's okay. This is The Void and the Flame. I'm Rachel, or Ray. Nobody special, just someone who's been through some stuff and still figuring it out. I started this podcast with one simple hope: to help people feel less alone, to remind you that no matter how permanent your pain feels, there are ways forward. There are people who can relate, and there are tools that can help. But here's the thing. I didn't fully realize when I started in trying to help others that I'd end up facing a lot myself. It's kind of reciprocal like that. And while I knew that might happen, it doesn't make it hurt any less when it does. So it's a gentle reminder that healing isn't linear. And when we think we've gotten certain things figured out, when the next storm hits, suddenly we feel like we're back at square one. But I want this to be another reminder to you that you're not back at square one, because this time you get to start from experience. You have new tools, new perspectives, and that makes all the difference. So today, instead of diving straight back into heavy territory, I wanted to shift things a little, to explore something that has been a lifeline for me personally: music. Because music has this way of holding us when words fail. It can gut us wide open, but it can also stitch us back together. And sometimes the songs that cut the deepest can actually be the most freeing if we can learn to look at them through maybe different lenses. So music has this power to reach us when nothing else can. Science even backs this up, because research has shown that listening to music can reduce symptoms of depression by up to 25% in some cases. And another study found that just 30 minutes of music a day lowers stress hormones like cortisol, and it improves heart rates and basically boosts overall mood. And that's not just entertainment, that is legit medicine. And today, I'm not doing this alone. I've got my buddy Brian here with me, so together we're going to talk about the power of music, not just emotionally, but scientifically. And then maybe we'll share some of the songs that hit us the hardest and why. And we'll look at how you can use music, whether it's soothing, energizing, or soul-crushing, in the best ways, all as a tool in your own healing process. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
I think this is a pretty exciting topic, especially because you yourself are actually a musician. Is that correct?
I pretend to be, but yeah.
Hey, sometimes we have to fake it till we make it, right?
Absolutely.
So what got you into music to begin with?
I can't really pinpoint it. I know growing up, I just listened to whatever my parents listened to, whatever my siblings were listening to. So, I grew up with all the boomer music, all the Gen X music. So, everything from Pink Floyd and Zeppelin to Nirvana and Soundgarden, all that stuff. Grew up with all that stuff.
So you got a nice eclectic taste of music.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably a very interesting playlist library.
Absolutely. That explains why, I dip into so much different music now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, who are some of your favorite artists right now, would you say? Maybe 2025?
Right now, definitely Sleep Token, NF. Those are kind of top of the list for me right now. I can always throw their discographies on repeat and just go.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling the love for Sleep Token these days.
Yeah.
I think it gave the masses almost this opportunity to feel seen, because the way that man really can just magically intertwine lyrics. I don't know about you, but that stuff guts me a lot.
Yeah.
It gets me to deep parts of my soul I didn't know existed. And it's really beautiful to watch what they can do. Just the genre bending that they do
Yeah,
these days is incredible.
like their song Gethsemane off their most recent album is just, it, to me, it's just a perfect song because they blend like 4 or 5 different genres in that one song, and it builds and builds and builds and builds lyrically, and then there's that huge relief with the crushing guitar riff like near the middle of the
Yes.
song, and it's just like builds, release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is actually, I've learned recently with Sleep Token, there's certain things that they do within their music. They're like that are hypnotic,
Mhm.
and they use like NLP techniques too. So it really helps people enact change, which is actually a lot of the stuff I do on the podcast too. I'll use certain terms and say certain phrases to just help get your subconscious going.
Right.
And Sleep Token kind of does the same thing. It's
Yep.
pretty sweet.
Yep.
It's very fascinating, maybe a little scary.
A little bit. It's kind of crazy how like serendipitous like music has been in my life, because like I was telling you earlier, I don't find music. Music finds me when I need it. So like when I had a falling out with a very close family friend a couple years ago, I found the Pain Remains trilogy by Lorna Shore.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
that 20 minutes of music, just like listening to it straight through is the only way to listen to it, in my opinion. And it just like kind of, the way I describe it, it's just like it would grab my rib cage and just like squeeze.
Oh,
And then like
yes.
by the time that 20 minutes was over, I could finally exhale again. It's just like, it just grips you emotionally like that tightly.
Yes. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier, how there's people on the planet that can't actually feel the depths of music like that. But then there's so many of us, like our friend, that just like goosebumps completely head
Oh,
to
yeah.
toe. Like, and some of us, it just hits us in such a profound way. And it's like, how do you kind of explain that to people? You know, like it literally, you can kind of do this whole like body scan of how it affects you, you know, like what you said, squeezing your rib cage. Like sometimes for me, it's like my chest gets really tight or my palms get really sweaty. I mean, Eminem probably knows how that feels, right? But it's profound when you really think about
Yeah.
it, you know, how much music can really, truly affect us.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And it also makes me think about how music is actually one of humanity's oldest medicines. It was one of our oldest forms of communication and language. I mean, anthropologists believe that before we had language, we had rhythm and we had sound. So our ancestors would use drums, chants, sounds. I'm sure we could all come up with some funky sounds to try to communicate with each other right now. But music was the beginning of language, and that's pretty cool all in itself, right?
Absolutely.
So just bang on some walls, maybe. Bring me the mashed potatoes. Anyway, sorry, I'm a weirdo. So today the science lines up with that. You know, stroke patients, actually, I don't know if you know this, can speak sometimes and regain their language faster just through singing therapy.
I didn't know that.
Stat, yeah. Because music engages both sides of your brain, so it helps you actually rewire those damaged portions. So when people say music saves lives, it's not a metaphor. It's actually backed by neurology history and lived experience. So you can take that and put it in your back pocket. So with music in general, and we all know it can do a lot of things for us. Have you ever found yourself kind of using music as like a real life, real world strategy to say kind of change your mood? Because I know we were listening to some music a little earlier that was a little heavy, and it's like, all right, let's change the vibe, because sometimes you need that shift. But do you find where there's maybe moments in your life where you're like, you know what, I need music right now. This is the only thing that's going to kind of kick this out of me or help me feel and explain what it is that's going on within inside me right now?
Yeah, for me, like music, whenever I'm like going through an emotion or a tough time, I find the music that kind of perfectly, what's the word? I guess it perfectly illustrates and explains exactly what I'm going through in that moment. So like I bask in that music and I just like let myself feel it completely, whatever I'm feeling, and then it's like, all right, I'm done. I'm good with this now.
Yeah.
So
Moving on, right?
yeah. So like there was a song that you had sent me a month or two ago. I told you I listened to it for 45 minutes straight because it just kind of like helped me finally move on from a romantic situation that didn't work out in my favor, and
Yeah.
it's like now I'm like fully 100% over that human being. So
Have you ever had a song that, say, helped you through a moment like that, right? And then you go and listen to it down the line and you still relate to it, but you relate to it in a completely different way now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I can't think of the closest example I can think of is Asking Alexandria Alone in a Room. Because like very specifically at the time when I first heard it, like I had been working from home for a couple years. I was up to like 350 pounds. So it was just like not healthy in any way, shape, or form. So like, the line in the song, all alone in a cage or something like that. Or anyway, it's crazy. I can't even think of the lyrics right now. But yeah, just it was so like poignant and on point to like what my life had been for the 2 years before I heard that song that just kind of like, all right, well, clearly some changes need to be made now, and like the song is probably going to be the catalyst for that.
Yeah. I actually had a kind of experience like that, which also led to severe disappointment because I found out the song was AI,
Right.
which made me really sad. And I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about that, if I'm completely honest. But I won't lie, I listen to the song probably 10 times today because that song, like, there were bits and pieces that were coming up, but I needed it to fully come up, and I needed to fully be able to look at it and acknowledge it for what it was, to be able to start to process it. And that I'm still working through that, but I wouldn't have had that song not just been presented to me, which is kind of like what you said, like music finds you when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of those moments. I was not expecting that song. It came on and I literally stopped dead in my tracks. I was walking to my kitchen sink and I stopped and I couldn't move. And that song has been on repeat for days now. And it's messed me up, but it messed me up in a really good way, because sometimes you don't know what you need to look at until it's brought to your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And music is just a beautiful way to do that.
Yeah.
Where it's easier to get called out sometimes by music than people too.
Yeah.
So it's all a healing tool in itself.
Yep. And then there's artists like NF. He's one of my favorites. If you go back to the very beginning of his discography and kind of see like the lyrical themes and where he's gone over the years, like you can kind of see how like his mental health has improved and gotten better and better and better as he's gotten older and everything, and how he's been able to be better equipped to deal with what he's going through, and how like it's helped me immensely.
Yeah.
So like his song Mansion, just like being stuck in your head all the time and just like feeling like a prisoner in your own head, like it's like, yep, been there.
That reminds me of that song I sent you by Alec Benjamin, Mind is a Prison. That's the same thing. And I think that brings me peace, because it reminds me, as much as I trap myself in my own head, I'm not the only one. There's so many people on the planet that experience those same exact things. So it makes you feel connected. And I would think that artists going through these things, to be able to be vulnerable, to put that stuff out there, like that's healing all on its own. Being able to hear yourself say some of these things, that can have pretty profound impact too. So
yeah, that's why that's a big reason why I adore Halsey's album, The Great Impersonator. Like that entire album is just like so raw, like everything that she had been going through for like the couple years prior to like making that album, and it's just like damn, like it's like wow.
Yeah.
She's like props to her, because like it takes a lot of guts to like be able to put that out into the world when you have as big a fan base as she has.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's super brave.
It's
and I wish more people would do things like that.
It's one of the few albums that I own on vinyl.
Yeah. Oh, that's super cool.
Because it's like I have a rule, because like vinyl is expensive, so I have a rule like if I'm gonna buy vinyl, it's got to be no skip albums for me.
Yeah.
So.
Do you find yourself finding a lot of albums where you don't skip a lot of songs? Because that's been a struggle for me with
rare.
artists most of my life. Like,
it's pretty rare.
I will have like one or two songs where I'm like, oh, these are great. And then I'll listen to the other ones. I'm like, yeah, no, I can't connect with them.
Yep.
But just hold on to those ones, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Sleep Token is one of those bands for me where it's like
the entire discography.
Exactly. I remember like Khalid, not DJ Khaled, but Khalid. He was very young when he first came out. This was several years ago. Every song he put out, like I could relate to, like I loved. So he was another no skip for me. And Patrick Droney. Those are probably my three where it's like no skip.
Yep.
But I still struggle. I skip a lot of music.
Yeah. Yeah, like NF song Change Like like lyrically, like there's stuff in there that like it hits close to home. It talks about like I know what I need to do to be able to change, to be able to like improve my life, but I just like, act like I don't, but I know I just don't want to commit and do the things necessary to make those lasting helpful changes. And just like, no, I think like at the very end of that song, like there's a line that goes like, last year I felt suicidal, this year I might do something different, like talking to God more. And it's like, that's like one of those things that kind of like, all right, maybe I should start like flipping through the Bible again.
Yeah.
Because like there's just profound ancient wisdom in that book.
There really is. And it's not something I've dug into a ton, but I find myself actually in conversations with my 13-year-old about it a lot because she's very drawn to that. And I've never been the type of parent to press any of that on anybody. Like, if you want to learn, I encourage it. But some of the relationships I've had lately and how they were very into the Bible and knowledgeable with that kind of stuff, it's like given me a new perspective. And it's like, okay, I really like that. Maybe I should also read it, or like just invest a little bit more time to understand it a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, religion is one of those things. Everybody needs something to believe in.
I actually had a conversation with our mutual friend about the Bible. It's like, if you can separate like the dogma and the religious aspect of it and just kind of look at it as like a book of wisdom and not, like this is the end all be all of existence and how everything went down, then I think people would be more open and receptive to the lessons from it. Because like there's that quote, love is patient, love is kind, and so on and so forth. That's from the Bible.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
I think a lot of phrases and terms people use are from the Bible and they don't realize that.
Yeah, like for me, like I've kind of lived by this quote that I heard from a guy I was following like years and years ago, but don't give cement shoes to the devil on your shoulder.
Yeah, no, 100%. I like it. I think those are good words to live by. Don't do that. But I think too, when we look at music and we get into it, or even just religion in general, it's a way for people to see that we're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to be alone. We don't have to heal alone. These are all things that we can work through with multiple tools and whatever feels right. And music has always been one of those things for me that I've just always gravitated towards. I've always lost myself in it. I've used music processing a lot of things, and it's literally helped me get through some very, very dark times, which I feel like is probably pretty relatable to most people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I enjoyed that the Sleep Token Facebook group that we're both a part of. Like, I scroll through the posts on there from time to time, and it's like there's a lot of it basically turns into a support group.
Yeah.
So like it's just like those lyrics are so powerful, and they speak to so many people's experiences that it's just kind of like a universal thing that like everybody can relate to it on some level.
Yeah. I think we spend a lot of time thinking that our stories, this might sound bad, but like unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or special in some way. And I'm not trying to downplay anybody's story by any means, but it's like the reality is that what you've been through, I guarantee there's probably somebody that's been through something pretty close. There's always somebody that can relate. And I think with everything in the world, we've been shown to try to be pushed so in a solitary place and be alone that it's nice to be able to combine or to be a part of groups like that where it's like you're not alone. This person's going through the same thing you are. And I remember Vessel had put out some note, and at the end of it, it was basically people telling him like how he saved them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you guys saved me.
Yeah. And
I feel like you can feel that in the music that he puts out.
Absolutely.
Like he put that out, and it probably created something he wasn't expecting in his life. And that's a beautiful thing all in its own. So yeah. I don't know. I like to ramble, guys. This is why you don't give me free talk and an open mic.
Yeah. Yep. Comparing pain is the most fruitless and pointless thing human beings do.
Yeah.
It's like pain is pain. Just because I remember like when my oldest sister passed away, we were working for the same company at the time, and like pretty much everybody within the company like loved and adored her as much as we did, even though they didn't know her nearly as long as I did, obviously. And I remember like one of my friends at the time, she like, told me like how she was like breaking down crying one day, and and she like felt bad for like, telling me about it and like trying to vent to me about it because I knew her longer or whatever. I don't remember exactly how she phrased it, but I was like, listen, it's like we both loved her. Like that's all that matters. Like we both loved her. We both miss her, and we both wish she was still here.
Yep.
It's like there's no point in comparing that pain because it's the same pain.
It is. That is very true. And we all experience it in different ways and perceive it. It is all the same thing at the end of the day, though. And I think, too, one of my big things on why I started this whole podcast was because most of my life I've been looking for, I don't want to say a sense of belonging, because I guess I kind of just accepted that I don't fit in a lot of places, but that community, like that we don't have anymore, like people coming together and helping each other and just loving each other. But I'm a hippie at heart, so
Right.
I want to believe that somewhere that can exist. I mean, I guess even if I have to create it, but then I think like our community and having like drum circles and how much music will be involved in that. And it just makes me really happy. But anyways, I don't know, tell me a specific song that makes you really happy. Like if you're having a kind of a rough day and you need something to really pick your mood up, is there a song you can think of that kind of does that for you?
Well, the song we just listened to, Electric Callboy's cover of Every Time We Touch, it's just hilarious. Or like pretty much anything that's like Electric Callboy, like it's like, this is the most silly and absurd thing I've ever listened to. I love it.
That's great.
Because like I remember like the first time I actually like listened to their album Techno, I was in the gym and like I was like doing bench press. And like that like first vocal melody came in or whatever, and it's just like I was like trying not to like laugh as I was like doing my reps because I didn't want to drop 150 pounds on my chest. So
absolutely,
yeah,
that definitely helps.
But yeah, love Electric Callboy. Just like if you just want silly like heavy music, just like go listen to them.
Okay, that's good to know, because I don't think I've ever heard of them really until you had showed their song today, and I'm always looking for new music. I like to think of music sharing as a love language. For me, I really love that. Like we have that nice back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of cute because I noticed our friend last night, she was smirking at me because there was another song. I'm like, oh, I sent you this song. And it was just cute because it's like, I think in that moment, she realized that's one way that you and I might communicate too. And
yeah, that was like really the genesis of our friendship was
music.
Sharing music back and forth.
Yep, that's how it started. You sent me a song and I listened to it. I'm like, okay, shit, yeah, this is where I'm at. And I'm like, well, thank you for that. And it was a great opening icebreaker. I loved it. And it was a good way to get to me, and you didn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
So good job, Brian.
I don't know, it's music has always been able to better articulate. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Music has always been better able to articulate what I want to say better than I can. And like I consider myself a relatively decent writer. And it's like sometimes I just can't find the words, and music is my voice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel that very deeply. Like I am a pretty passive person in life. And I mean, for anybody that has met me or they know me, I'm not a fighter. So when I get those moments where I want to like beat people up, I always go to like I prevail, bow down.
Yep.
And I just like scream that song and I instantly feel better and I don't want to punch anybody. But it's like I've shared that song with a few people and it's become like their gym like pump song.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you use it to push yourself and I use it to not punch anyone.
Yeah, I've used I Prevail in the gym a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, they're great. I love them.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Though I heard that their lead singer, it's someone different now, or he had left.
Yeah, like one of their singers, they is no longer in the band. I don't know the whole story behind it. I didn't look into it.
Makes me sad. I don't know. I liked him, but we'll see what the future holds for them. Time shall tell. But any final thoughts you want to share with some of the listeners? Maybe even some good pieces of advice that you've picked up throughout the years with, songs you've listened to, or any little tidbits, little nuggets.
Don't get stuck in your head.
Yes. Remember to reach out because you're never as alone as you think. And I promise you there's people out there that want to listen to you, want to be there for you. And this is like me calling myself out because
especially
everybody needs some.
If you have any kind of like hobby that you think is like a weird niche hobby, like Magic the Gathering, like I've met some amazing human beings through playing Magic the Gathering and going to local game stores to just play Magic with people. It's like, yes, Magic the Gathering is like one of the nerdiest hobbies you can do, but you can also meet a lot of really, really amazing people.
And nerds are pretty cool in general, but I'm biased. I like nerds.
Yeah, sometimes.
I think
it's like
adorable.
it's 50-50. Most of them are pretty great, and then there's a lot of them that are just kind of like their personalities are just too intense for their own good, and it's like, bro, it's like, dial it back.
Maybe they need some calming music.
Yeah, go listen to Bach.
Yes, something. Well, too, like frequencies. We were kind of touching on that and like how they can change. Cats literally are healing walking frequencies. A lot of people, like if they're having a bad day, I've noticed this with my male cats specifically. If I'm having a really rough day, one of them will come and lay on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like these moments where I need it the most and I don't even realize it. And it's just that resonance, that frequency, that exchange. It's super healing. So it's kind of melodic all on its own. But
Absolutely.
Powerful, powerful stuff. Well, hope somewhere in this conversation a song or thought came to mind for you, something you can carry with you into the rest of the week, because the truth is we're not meant to do this alone. Music reminds us of that. It connects us even when we feel disconnected from everything else. So if you have a song that carried you through, I'd love to hear it. Share it with us, because your song might be the one that helps someone else hold on for one more day. Thank you for showing up with us inside the void and for keeping the flame alive. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep the fire lit.